Chargers Now is presented by PrizePicks. I'm your host, Will Ortner, and today we are going through all of the grades around the Los Angeles Chargers after the 2026 NFL Draft. I'll tell you what, I went into it thinking that General Manager Joe Hortiz was a little bit off his rocker. He wasn't doing the things that he needed to do to get this Chargers team in the position where they were going to have the most success. I was wrong. And I'm going to tell you about the players that the Chargers drafted and how wrong I was. But first, hit that subscribe button. Right now, I want to go into a sub battle with the Chiefs report, Raiders report, and Broncos breakdown. We have never been able to cover the draft on Chargers Now because, well, we just started the channel. Help us beat all of the other channels on this draft grades video. We want to dominate the rest of the competition here. Hit that sub button. The Chargers had a ton of great selections in this draft, top to bottom. Excellent decision-making from General Manager Joe Hortiz, Akheem Mesidor, Jake Slaughter, Brennan Thompson, Travis Burke, Genesis Smith, Nick Barrett, Logan Taylor, and Alex Harkey are all going to be Los Angeles Chargers next year. Let's dive into each one of those individually. Starting off with the Canadian assassin that is Akheem Mesidor. That's not what they call him. He is an elite edge rusher that is going to add to this team and completely replaces Odafe Oweh. Now, you should only be concerned with the fact that he is a little bit older as a 25-year-old rookie if your name is Leonardo DiCaprio or you're a frickin' weirdo. The dude is going to step right into this defense and be elite right away. I'm very excited to see what he can add to this team because I believe that he's going to seamlessly transition into this defense. He was elite at getting after the passer last year. I got to see him live at the Cotton Bowl. Stop me if you've heard this before. Dude, he was unblockable. Nobody could stay in front of Akheem Mesidor. He was a hell raiser. I'm telling you right now, you're going to love him. I'm going to love him. We're going to love him in Los Angeles. We're going to get back to those draft grades here in just a moment, but I got to let you know that today's show is made possible by PrizePicks. PrizePicks is America's #1 sports picks app and is the best place to win cash while watching sports. With playoff basketball finally here, there's no better time to cash in with our friends at PrizePicks. And I'll tell you this, the app is really easy to use. To qualify for a PrizePicks lineup, pick 2 to 6 players and select more or less on stat projections, including points, rebounds, assists, three-pointers, and several others across all sports. If you're more of a baseball guy or gal, choose stats such as hits, home runs, and strikeouts. With the new social feeds feature, you can share PrizePicks with your friends and copy lineups with a single click. That, of course, includes me. You follow me on PrizePicks and get the picks before they even get posted on the show. I have a lineup for the football action going on later on this year. Fernando Mendoza, less on his regular season game started. Jeremiah Love, less on his rush yards. Jordan Tyson, more on his receiving yards. New user offer. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code HMA when you play your first $5 lineup to receive $50 in lineups. That's code HMA when you play your first $5 lineup to get an extra $50 in lineups with PrizePicks. Clickable link to download the app is in the comments and descriptions. Let's talk about Jake Slaughter next. And don't just look at his one-on-ones from the Senior Bowl because they're not great. But I'm telling you right now, I do like the addition of him into this team. What you're getting is a big, strong, physical offensive lineman, someone that had a lot of success at Florida, pretty decent run blocker, and is going to do really well in his zone-heavy scheme. Sounds like someone who's going to do really well with Mike McDaniel. I'm telling you that right now. Now, he's got some penalty issues, and that was over at the center position, but he's probably not going to play center in the National Football League. He's definitely not going to play center with the Los Angeles Chargers. He's going to be more of a guard. So I expect those overall grades from PFF to really take a step up. Now, I get it. It's the National Football League, so you're going up against stiffer competition night in and night out. But I do think it's important to kind of note here that with a guy like Slaughter, I think he's going to be great as he gets over to the edge for this team. He is a player that I am excited to see. That is for sure. Very much like what Slaughter is going to be able to do when it comes to adding to this offense, and I think he adds to this offensive line. Next, let's talk about Brennan Thompson, the speedy wide receiver from Mississippi State. Now, this Bulldog He's not going to have a lot of bark, but he's going to have a lot of bite because he's got incredible speed. When you look at Brennan Thompson, he is someone who is going to be able to get away from opposing defenses that are trying to slow him down and who are trying to stop him. Now, he's definitely someone who has been used a lot as a vertical threat. That's cool. He's great at it. Uses his speed, his quickness, his shiftiness to avoid getting stopped at the line of scrimmage. But he definitely needs to be a little bit more of a crisp route runner to be able to have more success in the National Football League. Kind of fits this McDaniel offense, though, because quick, shifty, those are the things that he definitely looks for. Had a decent amount of yardage over at Mississippi State. Remember, they are the worst team in the SEC. So the fact that he was able to have over 1,000 yards, that is a big deal. I'd be very excited if I was a Chargers fan and am a Chargers fan to see him. I'm telling you right now, as I get to cover the team more and more, I become more of a fan. And I'm telling you what, this kid, Brennan Thompson, I think he's really going to be liked in Los Angeles. What's your one-word reaction to the Chargers draft? Let me know down below in the comment section. Very interested in hearing what you have to say. My one word right now is the Chargers crushed this. General Manager Joe Hortiz crushed it. He was fantastic. This draft was dominated by the Los Angeles Chargers. Easily had the best draft in the AFC West. Easily had the best draft in the AFC. I'm telling you right now, they're competing for that NFL top draft spot. Let's talk about Travis Burke next, because I think this is going to shock some people on why the Chargers ended up taking him, but I actually think that this is going to be a great choice. Now, he's 6'8", almost 6'9". Kid could almost be playing basketball. 325 pounds. Now, he still has to grow into his body. His footwork isn't great. His anchor needs some movement, and he's not the most fluid mover, right? Looks a little bit at times like Bambi almost on ice. That being said, when he gets his hands on guys, he's solid. He has a lot of success in the American Conference, the better of the group of fives. Very massive, has a nice mean streak. Definitely is going to be a swing tackle early on in his career. But I also think that he has the potential, and I think there's an opportunity for him here that if the Chargers decide after, a couple of injuries to move Rashawn Slater inside to guard, why couldn't Travis Burke end up being one of the starters at offensive tackle? Big, mean, physical, nasty. Those are some good things for this team. Let's talk about Genesis Smith next, the safety from Arizona. Now, this is a guy that I frankly have liked a lot. I think that he is going to be able to add to a defense, and I think defensive coordinator Chris O'Leary's got to be pretty damn excited. He was number 74 on our big board, so the kid can really play. Now, he's got some issues at times when it comes to tackling on being great in the run-stopping ability, but that's not what he's made for. He's made to go and force turnovers. Great ball skills. Knows where the quarterback is going to throw the football before he even does. Now, the tackle number is high. Some of that is because, Arizona wasn't great, or at least higher than you would expect for a player that isn't necessarily the best at getting tackles. But I'm telling you right now, he's going to be able to get a lot of interceptions, and that's why you're bringing him in. He's here to be a traditional free safety, but he can play in the nickel if you need him. Hit that thumbs up button if you can't wait for the 2026 NFL season to get here and you believe that the Los Angeles Chargers won the draft. Let's talk about Nick Barrett, shall we? Interior defensive lineman from South Carolina. Someone that we've talked about here, producer Searle and myself, as you kind of go through the draft process, some of these players really run together and you forget, where did I talk about this guy again? Telling you, Barrett, I like what he's going to be able to do when it comes to run stopping. We said that the interior of the defensive line for the Chargers, it does need to improve. Now, I'm not going to sit here and pretend to say that he can get after the quarterback. I think his sack number, in fact, jumps off the page a little bit higher than it should. He has 2 sacks. Interior defensive lineman, pretty darn good. He only has 9 pressures. So that means he made the most of his pressures, but typically you don't have 2 sacks if you have 9 pressures. You expect that to be a little bit higher, in my personal opinion. So I will say this, if you're looking for a run stopper, a plugger right there in the middle of your defense, I think he can do it, and he can learn very well. Starting off as a backup, interested to see if he earns some more time as a starting defensive lineman. Let's talk about Logan Taylor next, the guard from Boston College. This is an interesting pick here, as we knew the Chargers were going to take a multitude of linemen. In fact, we were pretty sure that they were going to take a multitude of interior offensive lineman. Taylor's the next guy that goes and gets grabbed. Now, he's someone that, look, we need to do a little bit of yoga. Might not be a bad idea to get him involved in the yoga community of Los Angeles. But other than that, man, this guy is a beast. Got a strong punch, not afraid to get his hands on guys and really win. Now, he might struggle with speed rushers. The nice thing is that no one really says that interior defensive linemen are known for their speed. Grades out very well over at PFF. I don't think that he was necessarily always helped out when it comes to Boston College, simply because, well, not that great of a team. So when I look at a guy like Taylor, I think that he can add into this crew. Now, he's going to be a backup. He's going to have to show that he can earn time on the field, earn a starting spot. But I think that the more and more guards that you can get, the better that it was going to be for this team. Speaking of guards, let's talk about my guy, Alex Harkey. Those of you here on Chargers Now that are real ones know that I'm a big fan of the Oregon football team, and I love covering this crew. Now, Harkey was asked to do a little bit more than I think he was necessarily hoping to, right? Because Harkey, he ended up having to play a little bit of tackle, obviously, with the University of Oregon. He's a guard, and I think that was made clear when he went up against some of the elite pass rushers in college football. Now, he moves very well. He finishes blocks. Sounds like a Harbaugh guy, sounds like a guard. He's someone that I think the more and more that you let him get and feel the space of the offense, the better that he is going to be. Now, he's someone that's going to face some length issues, but what man doesn't? And he's definitely someone that is going to, I believe, have to grow into being a good guard with this team. But I think he can do that. And you're using a 6th-round pick on him. So who knew? Who knows? Maybe he'll end up growing into being a top player for this team. Right now, of course, I think that this draft, was dominated in the AFC at least by the Chargers. They came in and they did not have a lot of picks. They only had 5, and they end up leaving with 8. Let's go through all of these really quickly here. Of course, we know that in the 4th round and in the 5th round, you got Genesis Smith, Nick Barrett, Logan Taylor, and Alex Harkey are the 6th-round guys. In the 1st round, we've got Akheem Mesidor, Jake Slaughter, Brennan Thompson, and Travis Burke. I think from top to bottom, the Chargers did a fantastic job of going through and finding players in positions of need and really attacking that offensive line group. When you end up having 8 picks and you spend 4 of them, so half, on guys that you are trying to come in and bring up this interior of your offensive line, you're doing things pretty darn well. Grade the Chargers draft down below in the comment section, A, B, C, D, or F. Very interested in what Chargers fans have to say. I'll tell you right now, I'm pretty darn fired up. My personal opinion, this was a home run type of a draft. It's an A for me, man. The Los Angeles Chargers had to get a lot more depth on their offensive line. They did that. They had to go and address some things over on the defensive side of the football. They did that. I just felt like General Manager Joe Hortiz showed a masterclass here. He said, I'm not a free agency guy. I'm not a trade guy. I'm a draft guy. And I try and go out and get the best players I possibly can, while also at the same time making sure that I get as much capital in the draft as I can. He absolutely crushed it. He knocked it out of the park. Hit that subscribe button if you love the Chargers. We're going to have you covered here on the channel. You don't want to miss any of the news or rumors or anything else on this team. Thank you guys so much for viewing today's video. Bold.